Guys, this is going to be the best video I've filmed so far.
Peru was the biggest meditation. If I should describe it with a phrase, I would say everyday hustle. Guys, welcome to another video. I would like to talk about Peru and my first time being in South America. This video is going to be split into chapters, so if you are interested in a particular topic, you can choose it and you can thank me later. So before I get into the first mission, I should explain how my team looked like. So first member, it was me. The second member was my father, same name, same amount of hair. The third member was my father's really good friend, Alex, which almost looked like a local Peruvian, so we called him our guide. So let's start with it, guys. How I got to South America. It wasn't easy, it was actually super difficult. So let's start with it. I started in the Pilsner parkour competition. I've got second places. Fucking hate second places. Then from Brno to Vienna, from Vienna flight to Madrid, from Madrid 12-hour flight to Lima, a capital city of Peru. From Lima we spent night in Lima, and then by a local movie bus another 8 hours to Huaraz. I'm gonna talk about Huaraz later, but let's say it was a checkpoint for us. So we traveled around 28 hours, around 13,000 kilometers, and it cost around 33,000 Czech crowns, which is like 2,100 Australian dollars. The travel wasn't long, but as it always, it belongs to the path we have to take when we are exploring another part of the world, you know? So that we get that out of the way, let's talk about our first mission we had in Peru, and that was the Artesonraju climb. Artesonraju is a very special mountain in the Cordillera Blanca, around 4 hours by car from Huaraz. 24,7. We started our trip from Lagoon, Peru, where the local taxi dropped us off, and continuing all the way to the C1, Camp 1. This is the Artesonraju, 6,025 meters above the sea level. That's where we're going. We are getting closer to our goal, Artesonraju. Right now, we camped at that lagoon platoon and then climb up for an acclimatization purposes a couple hundred meters, so we have rush tomorrow and can get higher. That's the plan. This is the first night of expedition to Artesonraju. Good night. The sun's out. Right now is the plan to get right there somewhere to 4,800 meters for our second camp. Alright, moved up a little bit. Another lagoon. And here it is, guys. We're getting closer. Base camp is somewhere right there. The problem is we need to climb all the way right this way. We made it, boys. This is the camp. I'll show you in a second from where we're gonna climb all the way up to the Artesonraju. My father helped me with the end. He carried my backpack because I was absolutely drenched. I vomited and I was like sitting for half an hour and I couldn't walk. But we're here, guys. We need a bit more of acclimatization. So I survived this this night because we're actually quite high. It's like 4,800 meters. So you have to climb up a little bit so you can sleep here and don't die. This is our campsite for day 2, right next to the glacier. Here's the chef with his dinner, if I can say that.
Master chef.
This is the bridge we have to get over. Guys, 4:30, we are ready to bed. Let's get ready for tomorrow. Good morning, guys. Truly one of the worst nights I've ever had. We slept in the altitude as the tallest mountain, Mont Blanc, in Europe. That's why we spent night. So you can imagine how was it. I drank like 5 liters of water. I'm not joking. Right now we're getting some more. Hey, Artesonraju, this is the final goal. Today we will do a bit of a tour, halfway through, and see how's the altitude fucking my head up. And if it's gonna be fine, we can continue next day. But I'm already feeling really bad right now, so we will see how that's gonna turn out. Descending down to the glacier, feeling better than I expected. This is day 3. So this is like the starting point for the ascent to the Artesonraju, 6,025 meters. We around like a couple more 100 meters down from the mountain, but like my form isn't good enough, so I'm like, we're gonna probably call it off and climb down to the C2 camp. So after around 2 nights in the elevation all above 4,500 meters, we decided either because I had the altitude sickness and because the weather was getting really bad, it began to rain and snow, we decided we're gonna step away from this challenge and not climb Artesonraju this time, unfortunately. Low-key, I was kind of disappointed because it was my first proper up and climb. I never really got in such a high altitude, and I was pissed because I left my soul there. I was so dead, guys, you can't imagine, I was dead. Bit of a rest. I would say we descended like 25%. We have to get right there down, about 10 kilometers. We are back at C1 and begin to rain, so we have to build up the tent again. Teňomka. Good night. This is our boat to take us on the other side. Unfortunately, it's a submarine, so we have to keep walking. Once we descended from the C2 next to Artesonraju down to Lagoon Peru, we started descending down the valley to the Huaraz. But before we got to Huaraz, we stopped at a really interesting town called Yungay. So let me tell you a story. On 31st of May 1970, a 7.8 magnitude earthquake occurred near Peru. 70,000 people in Peru died. 20,000 of those inhabitants were from Yungay. How come? So from Huascaran, a monumental mountain from the northern peak, dust, snow, stones dropped and in 4 minutes covered the entire village except the monument of Jesus Christ that works as a something like a remembrance place for that incident. So the whole Yungay village got devastated, and yeah, pretty much this is what was all left. Just once we descended down to the valley, we got into Huaraz. I told you I'm gonna tell you a bit more about this town. So, Huaraz is located 3,100 meters above the sea level with 1,200 inhabitants, which is quite a lot for a city located so high. So Huaraz works as a, let's say, like a key point from going up and down the mountain. Also, Huaraz is a center and a place for local farmers to sell their goods, like vegetables, fruit, meat, fish, but neither of them together. Guys, their fruit, their meat, top notch. Don't know about the hygiene, but those markets look crazy. I think it would be a shame, guys, if I won't explain you and tell you about the 3 best places that have a special place in my heart from Huaraz. So number 1 is Captain Patrick's restaurant, where they sell the best meat and the best local wine from either Argentina or Peru. We spend a lot of time eating and dining there. Second location is this cafe right on the corner, where they sell the best mango smoothie for just 17 sols. Get the pure mango syrup mixed with ice. Best thing, guys, orgasm. Third place is around this like really touristic park where most of the guys who seek adventure and come from another countries gather. It's called Chili Heaven. It's a place made from tourists. It's a restaurant where they sell the best curry and the best burritos ever. So guys, those were the top 3 places in Huaraz. So if you find yourself here, make sure you visit these 3 places. Also guys, I have to apologize for a bit of a crappy sound. I'm filming on an iPhone, I have no mic on. I'll show you the conditions. So I have this really cool chair that I'm sitting on. This is my filming setup. And if I go a couple more meters, I have the busiest street. Anyway, let's continue. So this is the rooftop of our hostel. They don't finish the roofs, so they don't have to pay a housing tax, which is quite smart. But then you have so much of this unused space on the top of the roofs, as you see, like many people do it. So the plan is right now we're located here in Huaraz. Gonna walk all the way this way through this canyon, all the way up, climb an Ishinca mountain, and come down through the valley back to Huaraz. That's the plan. After a night in Huaraz, where we rested kind of after the first adventure at Artesonraju, and we decided we want to have a peak in our pocket when we leave Peru. So we decided we're gonna climb Ishinca mountain. Ishinca mountain, or Mount Ishinca, isn't far away. Around 30 minutes by a local taxi that dropped us off right in the hills of the Andes of Cordillera Blanca, and we walked with a full backpack, full gear on, around 15 kilometers right to the C1. Look at that. This is our first campsite. The boys are already building the tent. Beautiful place, beautiful. Something like a tourist cottage around. Great. Update, we in the C1, feeling fucking amazing. Tomorrow
We're gonna climb the Ishinca. Tomorrow is gonna be the day D.
So at that time, we already been pretty high, around 4,300 meters above the sea level. And I told my father, I feel really good. And he was like, oh yeah, let's climb Mount Ishinca tomorrow. So we did.
Just about to take a shower in this beautiful stream. Guys, 6 p.m. It's right now. We are ready, 4 a.m. start. Gonna climb all the way this way up this huge hill. And that's the time when the Ishinca mountain is gonna show up. It's about 10 kilometers, 4 hours on the map. Let's see how quick we can do. Here comes the final part. All the way next to the huge rock, and then 2-hour climb to the top of today's goal. Let's go. Look how beautiful it is here. Like no one here. Right now, through the snow to the top. That's the plan. I'm not coming back. I would die or I'm gonna climb it. There's no other way. We are on the snow. The peak is waiting for us. We have to hurry up because the weather is getting a bit worse right there.
So after hours of fighting, we finally made it, boys.
And here comes the finish line. Made it. And right now, from the glory top all the way down to the valley to C1.
Zestuk do bejzu. Tady se nám halí do mraků.
I remember that day, it was so sunny and so hot. Like guys, look, so I put an 50 SPF sunscreen on. So it's been a couple days after. And you can tell how my face looks after this adventure. Yeah, like it's been way worse than that. Just like when you go to mountains, you use sunscreen, but it won't work anyway. So this advice is really pointless. Yeah, fuck sunscreen. Once we got that out of the way, we got left with a couple of days left for adventure in Peru. So we decided we're gonna walk one of the most beautiful tracks in Peru, in the Andes, the Ishinca mountain track. The Ishinca mountain track goes all around 3 valleys. It's more than 55 kilometers I don't know, about 3,000 meters of elevation. You're going up and down, mostly because you go over the valleys. And that's what we got into. Mountain trek started in C1, where we already been, and we had to climb with all of the gear all the way up almost to the top at Ishinca mountain to cross the snowy ridge to get over to another valley to continue this trek.
Have to get all the way across the hill to the snowy mountain. This is the hardest part of today's hike. Have to get over there to that ridge, cross it, and then descend down to the lagoon.
Once we got over the ridge at Ishinca mountain, we descended about 1,100 meters down to another valley where we found a pretty good spot. I mean, I thought it was pretty good.
And that's where we're going, somewhere down there.
I thought it was pretty good, but in the morning when we woke up, we found ourselves surrounded by cows and horses, and they shit everywhere. And obviously I was hungry, right? I wanted the steaks, and they were pissing me off, just like, you know, bouncing to the tent and stuff like that. Oh my god. If you are wondering what I'm eating, I have like the local blueberries from the farm. Beautiful, guys. After we said goodbye to all the cows and horses, we left the valley and began to climb around 1,000 meters of elevation all the way up to another valley.
Yesterday, we went all the way from up there down to the valley, and today all the way up. Now the mission is to descend somewhere down there for C3, if I count right. If you would like a couple of stones, I got a few here, so I can borrow you some, but only if you really want.
So once we cleared that ridge, that was the last valley to cross, so we knew from that time we're gonna be only descending down, which was a great feeling because my legs were devastated. So when we found this really pretty place right next to this rock and lake, obviously shit ton of cows, I was so happy. I feel like I went to sleep around 5 p.m. like dead.
Wypadnij. Wypadnij. Paszaka, wypadnij. Wypadnij, bo. Beautiful sunset. See you tomorrow.
I remember that night we slept around 5,000 meters above the sea level, so you can imagine. I mean, I was acclimatized, so the oxygen wasn't a problem. I was only like spitting blood sometimes, but like the cold wind that was up there, unexplainable, guys. Like you can't tell how cold it was. Like I was sleeping in the tent. I had one of the best sleeping bags. I had 2 socks on, guys. I was freezing, and I'm like cold-blooded guy, like damn. Anyway, after this really cold night, we begin our descent right to the valley, from where we're gonna go a straight line all the way down to the Huaraz city, where will be the end of our trek. This was probably my favorite part of the entire trek. You had to walk up 25 kilometers straight line from the high point down to the valley, all the way across to the Huaraz city. I mean, you've been walking, the wind was so strong, you know, blowing to your back, so it wasn't that annoying. And you're just walking straight down, and you could see how the scenery and the wildness was changing all around you. By the time you've been walking down, it changed entirely.
Let's go swimming! On today's list is a 25-kilometer straight line down to the valley, down to the city of Huaraz, back to civilization. Beautiful path, guys.
And so we made it. On average, 33,000 steps per day.
The end of the Huaraz National Park.
Ishinca trek was done. So far, guys, I was talking about the past. I was talking in the past tense about the mountains, the experience I had for those 2 weeks in Peru, here up in the mountains. But here we get serious. We go into the war zone of Peru. We go to the main city, Lima. Let's go, guys.
So we made it to Lima, guys. Right now I'm on the main square, Plaza San Martin. It's 8:30, so there are no people. So it looks quite clean, to say to me. Just made it to the airport, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. It doesn't end. In 2 days I come in for a month to Brazil, so make sure you subscribe so you see the next video. Bye, guys.